Living in Fairhope and having Southern charm is a way of life. There's something really exciting about this city. These past few years that we've been living here have been some of the best years of our lives. We've lived in quite a few different places over this past decade, but when we moved to Fairhope, we just fell in love. And all I can say is I hope this video shows you why so many of our clients love this fairy tale city in Alabama. What we're about to share with you is exactly what made us fall hard for this charming coastal town along Mobile Bay.
Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. We're your real estate fam, and if you don't know, I'm Tony and this is my partner Jess, and today we're going to talk to you about the many reasons to live in Fairhope, Alabama, especially if you want that scenic vibe with historic homes, with streets lined with live oaks and ferns everywhere you go. If you haven't been, we have a charming walkable downtown area, and Fairhope sits on bluffs that overlook Mobile Bay, so you're never too far away from the view or the water or that bay breeze, which helps during these summer months because it gets hot and humid. Fairhope may not have the white sand beaches of its neighbor Gulf Shores, but it has a laid-back vibe that lowers your blood pressure, which is a big reason why I personally moved down here, and it may be the reason you want to too.
Okay, because there's so much to go over, we're gonna break this down into sections for y'all. So if you know what you're looking for, scroll through the sections to find what you want, but otherwise, watch through with us till the end to hear about some lovely things that Fairhope has to offer.
There's a reason why they chose to film a series about finding love here, and that's because you'll fall in love at first sight with the culture, the community, our beautiful downtown area, Mobile Bay, the Southern charm, the list just goes on and on.
Okay, and since Tony just mentioned Southern charm, I'm going to talk about that first. Living in Fairhope and having Southern charm is a way of life. The people here have this natural Southern way of being kind and witty and considerate to everyone they encounter, whether it be at the post office, the grocery store, or at church. When we first moved here, our neighbors welcomed us in with open arms and literally showered us with gifts like soaps and cupcakes and cheeses from all these local shops right here in downtown.
Everywhere.
Even our dogs and cats received gifts. I'm not exaggerating. Our doorbell probably rang for about 3 straight weeks with warm welcomes and casseroles and desserts. It was so amazing. Like, words cannot describe how special that made us feel. We initially chose Fairhope for the location and highly rated schools, but we learned there's so much more to love about this special city.
That's so true. A lot of cities have a special charm, and Fairhope's is the flowers. Downtown, you'll find beautiful floral arrangements around every single corner you walk on. The streets are lined with flower beds and trees, and Fairhope also employs a full-time horticulturist to ensure the city stays in beautiful bloom year-round. There's even a functioning floral clock right off of Veterans Drive. And speaking of, if you're on Veterans Drive, coming from or going to Highway 98, then you'll see American flags lined up on both sides of the road just to honor our veterans. And as a veteran myself, I truly appreciate the effort they put into showing their patriotism. And here's a quick fact for you. While we're on the topic, Veterans Drive is adding a roundabout at the intersection right there at Fairhope's Triangle.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about this roundabout. People either love them or hate them. I think they're fine, but sometimes people just don't seem to understand when to stop or when to yield. But anyways, I do remember the first time we visited Fairhope and I saw all those flags lined up on the road as we drove through, and I thought to myself, is it a holiday weekend? And it wasn't. Fairhope is just a very patriotic city and they honor our troops all year round. Those flags and the trees on that winding road leading you into Fairhope was something that has just like stayed with me forever. And as you drive closer to downtown, it just gets better and better. And another focal point of Fairhope is the city clock downtown. The popular street clock at the corner of Sexton Street and Fairhope Avenue is a landmark here in Fairhope, and it's also known as a gathering spot.
The beautiful street clock was donated to the city of Fairhope by the Tuck family back in 1989 in memory of Mr. Lawrence Curtis Tuck, because they knew he wanted to do something for his hometown when he passed away.
That really is a beautiful gesture, isn't it? Could you imagine? That man must have really loved his hometown. Doesn't it just give you guys some like Morgan Wallen vibes talking about his hometown?
'Cause I can't love you more than my hometown. Love you more than my my hometown.
I just love it.
Me too, and if you haven't been to the South before, you'll notice a lot more greenery here. And it's not just your ordinary greenery, I'm talking about old majestic live oaks and oaks with Spanish moss that look like it's something out of a fairy tale or just magical in general.
It's majestic.
It's something you have to see for yourself because it's just that damn beautiful, and me telling you about it does not do it justice.
I thought you were gonna say Southern hospitality. If you haven't been to the South before, you'll definitely notice the Southern hospitality here. When I say Southern hospitality, I mean the friendliest people you're ever going to meet. Everyone greets you and has engaging conversations with you everywhere you go. I don't care if you're at Target or getting a rental car from the airport. And yes, those are two true stories where we kept looking behind us to see if people were becoming like frustrated, because next thing you know, you're talking and 10 whole minutes will go by. So get used to giving people the time of day down here because it's the Southern way.
And another story for context is one time we were driving around getting footage for our videos to show y'all, and a couple stopped us and asked us what we're doing. So I told them, and they were so intrigued. Next thing you know, we're getting a tour of their new home in Old Battles Village, and they invited us to stay longer and to drink some beers with them and just shoot the shit. Like it was great.
It really was. So if you're coming here, expect outgoing people who are going to take pride in their Fairhope roots. But next on our list is geographic location. So we've had two clients meet us this week and both thought that Fairhope was just a downtown area on the bay. So we have to fill you guys in. Fairhope is just about 15 square miles, which is 9,600 acres. Just think about that. That is huge. So with that being said, if you're looking for a home on the bay, it's here. If you're looking for a home on a subdivision with kids running around or a retirement community, that's also here. And if you're looking for a house with acreage that has a pole barn or is an equestrian property for horses to roam, rest assured you can find that here as well. You literally get the best of everything when you live here. You can be out in the country tending your farm, and within like 15 minutes you can be in downtown Fairhope sitting on the pier or riding a golf cart over at Lakewood, boutique shopping downtown, or enjoying a coffee and a book at Page and Palace. So if you're looking for a place to call home, make sure you let us know so that we can help you.
Call me.
And I know this video is all about Fairhope, but the surrounding areas are a lot alike in the sense that you can have a property with big lots to go four-wheeling or one of the rivers to go fishing, but still be close enough to drive to the mall or the grocery stores that are close by. When we visited other places in the country, you either get one or the other, which is city life or country life, but here you get best of both worlds and you get the beach life because the Gulf is right there and it's all affordable. So
you can't beat that.
No.
And that's why we have to mention it, because our clients think they have to be in central Alabama to find properties with a little land, and that's not the case. I mean, like, central Alabama is fine, but you can find similar properties in Fairhope. Of course, there's a price difference. You're definitely going to pay more for more acreage in Fairhope.
And that's everywhere, whether it's Mobile, Saraland, or Pensacola, Florida, you're never going to pay the same price for the same amount of land in two different areas, ever, anywhere you go.
Isn't that the truth? And speaking of these areas, we need to talk about the population growth in Fairhope. If you ask any Baldwin County local, they'll tell you that the area has absolutely experienced massive growth over the last few years, and the results from the annual census concur. In fact, we can say with confidence that the county is the fastest growing county in all of Alabama. Over the last decade, Baldwin County welcomed in over 49,000 residents to the area, growing from a population of 182,000 in 2010 to 231,000 in 2020, and it just keeps growing. You see it everywhere you go, and if you talk to the natives here, they'll tell you it's not the small, quiet town they were once used to.
But it is relatively small to other large cities in the US, or even compared to Mobile coming in at 190,000 residents.
Fairhope's numbers actually show a 27% population increase over the last 10 years, and like I said, it continues to grow with no signs of stopping. So if you're thinking about making a move to Fairhope, be sure to let us know so we can help you find that perfect home.
No signs of stopping is right. On almost every street, you'll see a new house going up or a new community being built, and a lot of people are wondering if we can keep up just because of the current infrastructure here.
Which leads us to our next topic, traffic. Traffic's not as bad as big metro cities like Los Angeles, but our lower Alabama traffic has definitely gotten heavier over the years, and to some it's not something they ever want to see happen in their little coastal community, but it's here and it isn't going anywhere.
Okay, for context, let's say you're driving to the VA hospital in Mobile, and I use this as an example because I drive there more often than I like, but it'll take you about 30 minutes at just about any given time without bayway traffic, which isn't bad at all. So if you need to commute back and forth from Mobile, you'll be fine for the most part. Now, if there is traffic on I-10, then it could be anywhere from an extra 15 minutes because people almost come to a complete stop before entering that tunnel, to an extra 30 to 45 minutes if you're lucky enough to have been behind someone who was in an accident.
And accidents do happen, especially on the Bayway and that causeway. When they do, you'll know it because you'll come to a dead stop for approximately 7.4 miles. If you're trying to go to Gulf Shores or Pensacola, you'll have to worry about the same thing, but in two different directions. You can take I-10 or the back roads to either destination, but if there's a crash, you might just have to wait it out because remember, our infrastructure wasn't meant for double population. We have 2-lane roads or sometimes 1-lane roads. So when it stops, it stops. Just last week, we were driving to Fairhope from Pensacola Airport. It normally takes us an hour, but there was a crash that had us stopped and added 30 minutes to our ride home, and we couldn't get off any, we just had to wait through it.
Not to mention during the summer months when you're battling that summer traffic of tourists coming in, like the 4th of July weekend, for example.
Oh yeah, you will not catch me driving to Dauphin Island or Gulf Shores over the weekend, not unless it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. Otherwise, it will be packed, I promise you. But we'll go anytime during the week for work, and it's not that bad.
And once you move here, you'll know what road you like to take to get to where you're going without battling that traffic.
Now let's move on to something I truly love, and that's the restaurants here. If you're a foodie like us, you're gonna have so many great options to check out.
Just come here with an open mind because there is an abundance of food in different varieties, but that doesn't mean you're going to find everything that you want.
I don't know how. What he means is you're not gonna find a Chicago style deep dish or an Italian beef, but if you're done with all that and you're ready for some of the best food you've ever had, then you're in for a treat. We have great seafood that's caught daily in so many good places. Just to name a few, you've got Dragonfly if you like shrimp tacos, or if you want to try the absolute hands down best duck tacos ever, I definitely recommend that place.
You know what it is! It's Taco Tuesday!
And I know that's not a typical taco you'd order, but they're hands down the best tacos I've ever had in my entire life.
She ain't kidding. And I have to mention Panini Pete's. This restaurant has also been recognized on the Food Network, and it's located in everyone's favorite spot in Fairhope, which is the French Quarter. They have some really good food and burgers and the freshest paninis and hands down the best beignets I've ever had. But get there early because they sell fast, and Jess is pregnant, and a couple weeks ago she was craving one of those bad boys, and we got there too late and they had sold out for the entire day. I think she legit cried.
Hormones.
I know, babe, but remember, we settled for a Fairhope float from Mr. Jean's Beans. That's another staple here in Fairhope that you absolutely have to try.
My mouth's watering.
The Fairhope float is a combination of frozen yogurt, coffee, and whipped cream, and it's so good. You satisfy your sweets and caffeine craving at the same time, and you can find these floats plus ice cream and coffee and popcorn and chocolate and all that right next door to Panini Pete's. It's an ice cream shop and a coffee shop that's been there for like 30 years. So we'll get your beignets this week, don't worry.
Thanks, babe. And speaking of Panini Pete, he also owns Sunset Point, that's known for their Gulf snapper throats and seafood in general. Pete is also like a local celebrity, and he's super humble, and he takes the time to say hello to everyone that's dining in at his restaurant. So many people I meet say Sunset Point is their favorite restaurant. It has the best location right at Fly Creek Marina, so you'll see a lot of nice boats, but their outdoor seating is to die for. It's so nice, and the sunset is amazing, but you have to get there early because they fill up quick, and they do run out of those snapper throats because it's everyone's favorite, so get there early.
Speaking of the sunsets, once you catch a sunset over Mobile Bay, get ready to pack your bags because you're gonna want to move here. I guarantee it.
I guarantee it.
It happened to us. I remember taking it all in and saying to Jess, we can have the view every single day, and we made it happen. It never gets old either. Each sunset is better than the one before.
I can't believe we went so long in life not living close to the water, which brings me to the next topic, the beaches. So Fairhope is not known for their white sandy beaches like Gulf Shores or Orange Beach, but their pier is great for a nice stroll or if you want to go fishing. And if you all have a boat, you'll no doubt be a river rat. No, Mobile Bay isn't really a river, but we still use that term. And there's also the North Beach Park in Fairhope, also has a paved walking trail with the best views of Mobile Bay and a gorgeous duck pond as well.
Hey, maybe that's where Dragonfly gets their ducks when they cook those delicious tacos.
Stop it. No, they do not. North Beach Park also has over 500 species of trees. If you want to get some cool pictures, you'll notice with its many scenic elements, it's a popular backdrop for many local photographers. I always see engagement pics or family photos being done, and it's so sweet.
We love taking our dogs on walks there too, and it reminds me Fairhope is super pet friendly. You'll see water bowls up and down the sidewalk downtown, for all your little pups.
You'll see families at North Beach Parks Pavilion enjoying picnics and just soaking up the beauty of Mobile Bay.
But you have to watch out for those gators. They might come up and get you.
No, they won't. They're literally scared of you more than you are of them.
I know, I'm just messing. But with that said, let's talk about the wildlife. First on my list are those damned mosquitoes and the no-see-ums. Be prepared with bug spray or citronella oil or sunscreen or some kind of protection from these guys because you will get bit up.
And we know this video is about finding love in Fairhope and everything that you are gonna love about Fairhope, but one thing we do have to be transparent with you about is you're gonna have to learn to love the insects and wildlife. Tony's not kidding. Those mosquitoes are an issue. I'm always the one getting bit up or swatting them away. We're never doing this under a tree. We're actually in the middle of putting a back porch screen on so that I can actually sit outside at nighttime without getting eaten alive.
I don't get bit as much, but they're definitely there. And like I mentioned earlier, gators are here too, but they keep them themselves mostly. The one thing that freaks me out though are those snakes. Those bastards are big and some of them are venomous. And if you've watched any of our other videos, then you've heard me say, forget about the golf ball if you shanked it into that brush, because it's theirs now. Don't go fishing for that sucker.
What scares me are the spiders. They're literally everywhere. We're brave for sitting on this tree. Even if you spray for them, they'll be back the next day. So I guess I'm kind of getting used to it. And as long as they're not in my house, I'm okay. But those roaches?
No, please, 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 no. See.
Don't get me started on roaches.
Yeah, the first time I got off the plane in Mobile, I was greeted by a flying roach.
Cockroach, cockroach, cockroach!
And I was like, what the hell is this? And come to find out, they're all over here. So if you see one, they live here too, along with the white-tailed deer and the hogs and all the birds and hawks. And of course you have fishing. Whether you like to freshwater fish or if you like to saltwater fish, if you're a fisherman, you're set.
Like I've been saying, you get the best of both worlds living here. So, okay, let's move on to another local favorite, and that's the festivals that are in town. You have the annual Fairhope Arts and Crafts Festival where they shut down the streets and set up their local art displays, and you'll have food vendors. It's just a really great time. And then you have the Fairhope Film Festival where the emphasis is on the art of filmmaking and the experience of seeing exceptional films. It's kind of like the best of the best in cinema arts, you know, the ones that never made it to big box theaters or were only there briefly, but it's really fun nonetheless.
And you can't forget about Mardi Gras. Once the clock strikes midnight on New Year's Eve, a new celebration begins in the South, and it's Mardi Gras season. Designers, builders, and organizers work tirelessly throughout the year to bring their creativity to life in the form of a giant, colorful Mardi Gras float to parade through the streets of downtown Fairhope. The Fairhope Mardi Gras parade are especially popular due to its beautiful lighted backdrop and family-friendly environment.
So there's 3 separate downtown parades over the nights leading up to Fat Tuesday, and they're so much fun. The city of Fairhope, as well as local shops and boutiques, dress up in their purple, gold, green, and everyone just celebrates. Local bakeries and restaurants begin selling the most amazing, delicious king cakes, which can only be found during the Mardi Gras season. And there's tons of special festive Mardi Gras themed meals and treats that are added to menus all over town.
We love to go into parade together as a family, and the kids look forward to it every single year. One of these years, I'm gonna make my own float, so I'll make sure to update y'all when I'm done with that.
Speaking of the kids, another thing we love about Fairhope are the schools.
We hear so much feedback from everyone about the schools in regards to everything from A to Z.
Like, is it a good curriculum? Do they offer a good education program? Are the schools highly rated? Are there private school options nearby?
She's the one to ask. But they also say, Tony, are there Catholic schools nearby? And the answer to all the questions that you have are yes.
The schools here offer so much, and if this is something you're interested in, then I would definitely look up greatschools.org. This site gives you all the rundown for both local and private schools, and it shows you the ratings and awards. It's pretty great. It's a great point of reference.
Another website we use is SchoolDigger or niche.com, and I just read that niche.com rated Fairhope the #1 public school in the entire Mobile area.
And US News said it was ranked number 10 in all of Alabama for high schools, and if that doesn't say a lot, then I don't know what does.
If you want to know more about the schools, keep a lookout because we're going to make a video dedicated just to schools in our entire area.
All right, y'all, those were some reasons why you should find love in Fairhope. And if you want to make this your personal residence, remember, we're licensed realtors here in the state of Alabama.
And as much as we love giving you the rundown in these videos, we'd love to help you with your real estate needs just a little bit more.
If you guys like this video, please make sure you like and subscribe. And until the next one, we'll see y'all later.
See you guys.